Welcome to Pop It's Culture, the show where we break down the trends, dive into the classics, and keep it real with the biggest moments shaping entertainment, music, and more. With your host Javi leading the way and the rest of the Run It Back podcast crew by his side, we're bringing the hottest takes, the freshest perspectives, and all the vibes you need. So sit back, turn up the volume, and let's pop off.
Welcome back, everybody, to Pop It's Culture. Y'all heard that intro?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. A lot. Nothing much with me, but a lot in this world. We're going to dive straight into it, and then we'll end on something light. But first, we got to bring up the hottest topic going around right now, and that is Donald Trump's reaction to Iran speaking on the United States stepping in on them defending themselves against Israel. Very much a spiral out of control because they're talking about war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the funny thing when he had Netanyahu.
Netanyahu.
When he had him to the White House and he was sitting there, him and J.D. Vance was like, "You're playing with World War III, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
And now it's like,
give me 2 weeks.
and now it's like, it's like you're sitting there talking about like Iran's doing too much and this, that, and the other. And then now you want to jump down Iran's throat. Like,
it's not a game, people. It's not a game. He's playing. These countries they're not playing.
Yeah, because I mean, even Putin's talking about nuclear war on Ukraine.
Yeah,
of
like
course.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, with a lot of things, he's made a lot of threats up until now, and they cut Putin.
Yeah,
and they kind of haven't panned out because he said when he went into Ukraine that he was going to take it within like a week or something like that.
Yeah.
And now it's been how long? Like 3 years?
Yeah.
So that, I remain skeptical about. It seems more maybe bluster. But at the same time, with all of that stuff that's going on with Iran, I can understand the potential for a threat, but taking preemptive action with the threat actually like not existing yet is kind of like fucked up.
Yeah.
Especially when they're like, oh, well, this is what we want to do and we can't do it unless we have this from America. So now they're just going to drag us into their shit. And
facts.
And that's kind
of talking about Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with all of that happening, it's ridiculous. And I think the whole 2 weeks thing is just he's buying time to test the political waters to see probably how his base is going to react, and then also figure out, outsourcing what's actually going to be done to other people in his circle to where they can come back and be like, all right, this is what you're going to say. And he's like, okay, cool. Kind of kick the can down the road so he can come up with just some
bullshit excuse
or some kind of rudimentary plan of action and reasoning for it. To where it'll be digestible for his base, and most people, because it's so unpleasant, just won't want to think about it. So they'll be like, whatever, But the whole scenario seems very similar to like a 9/11, very similar to 9/11 to me, because it's like attacks happened originally with October 7th. Everything is kind of like happening upon itself constantly, new developments, and then now we're at a point to where they're stepping into Iran because supposedly they could maybe someday potentially build weapons that could harm Israel.
But who gave it to them?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's understandable from Israel's perspective because it's a potential threat. But at the same time, like I said, it's like if it's not really in existence, they haven't made shit, they can't do shit. Now it's at a point to where it's like you're realizing that it's possible that they could create something. So now you're probably going to have to treat them with a degree of respect because they're becoming a threat. And
facts.
Yeah. So you don't really want to have to deal with them on some kind of potential future equal playing ground or something remotely similar. So you're like, well, yeah, we'll just crush them now. But that kind of reinforces a lot of the bad shit that they already think. At the end of the day, Netanyahu, people like, they don't give a fuck. Like, it's not going to matter to them because they're looking out for their people, they feel like. But here we are.
My thing is, like, would America be obligated to help Israel because
No, I mean we're not.
we're
At least,
allies?
I don't. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how bad it got. But from this point to where it's like preemptively, no, I don't feel like we're obligated at all to help them because this is shit that
This
they've
is
kinda
y'all's war.
cooked up,
Yeah.
or so they say.
Well, and I mean, not even that, but this is stuff that's been going on for like
Oh yeah,
hundreds of years. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was, this stuff's been going on way before we was in country. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know about that. For real?
yeah,
Well, if you're talking about what specifically are we talking about?
like the war in the Middle East. Like, it's been,
With themselves?
yeah,
Well, I mean,
I think they've always had a beef, yeah.
it's been like,
Because they're trying to shove each other's religions down each other's throat.
well, that in certain parts of the land is good for
so it's a
one country.
resource
Yeah.
type thing. Yeah, but and then we've also kind of being who we are in our history, just we've
Brown nose to
try
hold
to
that damn time.
well, we try to establish our foothold in other places. So it's like we've been constantly sticking our nose naturally into a lot of their business for our own interests. And again, like here we are.
Yeah.
Stay the fuck out of it, America.
Yeah, and that was the one thing that he said he swore he wouldn't do was go into
America's
an endless
fucking
war.
Netherlands.
Yeah, well, it's a tough balance because it's like if we are going to be involved, whether it's like in trade or any kind of diplomatic whatever, we have to be out there and be connected. Like we
Right.
can't kind of shut ourselves off to the world.
Yeah.
But at the same time
but
too,
what we're doing now is about
I
to shut
d-
us off.
but I definitely see it's like, well, we can't be expending all our money being the world police. But again, there's a balance. That's why you
Right.
have shit like NATO and the UN and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
And that's basically why the countries join NATO
Yeah.
so they can talk things out and not have it come to nuclear arms. And that's why it's so when you see it on the news, well, such and such, well, this country has left NATO. It's like, oh, okay, so what's your what's your agenda now? What are you trying to do?
But-
What's on your mind?
One of the things that's probably come to the forefront now with all of this, and at least this is my opinion, has been that for years, like, kind of like North Korea, is like Iran, we talk a little bit of shit. We talk a little bit of shit about them. There's an exchange,
what I was
but
about to say.
no one's really doing a whole lot of anything. Like things did happen that were substantial to our history, but I'm saying like overall, nobody really wanted it with one another because it would be disruptive.
Yeah.
So now it seems like we're getting to the point to where people are in some way, shape, or form kind of showing their hands. We already know that we're the big boys and we can kind of kick around the little guy if we really want to. So Iran now understandably feels under threat because they're cornered with the preemptive attacks and the potential of us getting involved.
Yeah.
So it really makes Iran look kind of, they can't fend off anything that we would do.
Yeah.
It would seem. So it's kind of like,
But they saying they're not gonna back down.
and that's
so-
understandable because why would you just be like, okay, and just like cave? You can't do that.
Oh,
So,
but you can if
Well-
you have a backup plan. And this is my fear, is that Iran is working with other countries, which I already know that they
Well,
are. But
yeah.
at the same time, you've got to see the threat with Russia and China too. When China is backing Russia and going for Ukraine, and Iran's now wanting to join America in on this war, or Americans enticing themselves to join in on this war with with Iran and Israel. It's like, are we leaving ourselves vulnerable to being attacked while we're attacking by Russia and China?
I feel like that's always a potential, but at the same time,
I feel like
Russia-
this potential stronger now, though, because of everything
It
that's
depends
going
on how bad each one of those other big superpowers wants it, and like.
but how hard would it be for them to team up? We're already sending a lot of our resources to Ukraine. Now we're about to send most of our troops to fight in a war.
But okay. I think China would be more level, cool-headed, and be like, no, unless they really saw an opportunity for a power grab in the Pacific. But mainly because if you've been paying attention to what they've been doing, where we've been emptying out of a bunch of different spots around the world, China is filling that void, and they're being like, hey, we don't have to be oppressive with stuff. We'll come in and give you loans, help you build your bridges, and help build shit up. They're friendly approach to stuff as being like America's stepping away and kind of becoming more isolated. Well, we're here and we're not going to operate the same way that they do, albeit their way is still its own form of insidious. And again, that's where we're at. They have a lot of investments and a lot of shit going, places like Africa and whatnot. So I'm kind of like, I think China, with so much money wrapped up in other things as well, trying to fill the void of where we've left. They might be like, maybe not, especially like they might end up throwing Iran to the wolves at the end of the day.
You don't think Iran has resources that China wants, though?
Well, yeah, but they're more likely to be like, well, we'll let them fight this bullshit war. A lot of them will die off, and then we'll just take what's left.
Yeah.
But wouldn't America then claim that?
Not if Russia did get involved to some small extent.
See?
It depends.
Yeah, so if they have troops on the ground there, we do, and we defeat Iran and we decide, okay, we're going to stay here for a while, and then China moves in. It's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, it would be a tough sell. It wouldn't be impossible, but it would basically be like a reiteration of what we already have in Afghanistan. You know, I mean, we do have some peacekeeping troops in a lot of different areas for good reason. But again, repetition, it seems it's very similar to stuff that's already happened. It looks like we're just getting it in a new form.
Yeah, I just think that it's crazy that we're here in a time of where we're also elsewhere, and in a time where this isn't America.
Right.
And that's kind of what like you was talking about.
Or it's the most America it's been.
Not that.
Yeah.
So you were saying that retaliation from other countries.
Well, I'm sorry, Cha-Cha. You kind of got a point there.
American imperialism.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's like,
that's crazy. We are like diverting back in time.
Oh yeah, we've been doing
like,
that.
No, like I knew that it was happening, but it's happening a lot faster than you realize.
Yeah, and it's the people who's run it because they want to turn it back to that time. You know what I mean? Like, and and they're in control right now. Complete. There's a small hair, but they're still in control.
Yeah, it's crazy. But what was you saying, Cha-Cha?
What you were saying about countries retaliating on us and us not being able to defend because we were already sending troops out.
Yeah.
Another thing about that, what you say, adding or piggybacking off what you said, is, are we even equipped or experienced because of the what Trump did when he got in by removing the experienced ones.
Yeah.
So
I would say we are hella vulnerable.
Right. And replace them with incompetence.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to call them incompetent. They're just not experienced.
I don't know, man. I've heard these people speak.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what gets me.
I'm talking about the like replacing the retired general. I forget what his role was, and then putting someone else in place just with less experience.
The ability to be able to remove substantial amounts of government staffing en masse due to your own personal political whims.
That's weakened us. I feel like it's weakened us.
And also,
by design.
I look at it in this context too. Like, Elon hates Trump right now. He can just go back to his home country and let's get these motherfuckers.
You know that ain't gonna happen. Well, I mean, I don't know, maybe.
They hate each other right now.
Well, I mean,
like, it's bad, but I'm that's hypothetically speaking. That's far fetched.
No,
really.
I mean, he's got hella investments.
That's what I was going to say. He's got those contracts. He's got those contracts. He's not going to.
Yeah.
But he probably will play two ends against the middle. Mm-hmm. You know, as people like that tend to do.
Yeah.
And just to know, any scenario that we have spoken on that's of our own opinion, it's not anything that's happened or taken place. The facts are the facts. We brought that to you, but let's move on away from Trump because I feel like we could talk about that forever. Right. Yes.
Okay, so now what?
So now we're gonna get into some criminal activity here in our own backyard that isn't outside the country, or so I don't think it is yet. And it's just a running back on the Diddy trial, and what's going on. Last episode I brought y'all that the lady from TikTok that was a trial attorney, but she was just sitting in on the case. She wasn't an attorney on the case, and we listened to that. Well, the update on that is that the juror number 6, the one that they said was kind of like doing too much,
Yeah.
saying too much.
Conspicuous.
Yeah, they actually removed him from the trial. Diddy's team submitted a 14-page reason as to why that man shouldn't be removed. Also called in racism and said that it was because he was black and it was too much diversity and this, that, and the third. So they replaced him with the white man.
This is DC Comics.
So now they really
know,
think
right?
that.
Diddy Combs. DC Comics.
Nah, don't insult DC Comics like that.
With the villain, the diddler.
The diddler.
The diddler.
So also in this, there is the feds have this case apparently that is gonna like supersede the case that's going on with him. Like they saying we are going to name celebrity names. We are going to like
Good.
they've got all this going on while Diddy's trial is going on. So it's like you've got social media and the media in general in a chokehold as far as like what does the feds have? What's going on with this case? They're saying that it's gonna end this week. Well, yeah, this week that we're listening to this on, it's gonna end. They're ready to wrap on Wednesday. And then the defense is like, well, it's gonna take us at least 5 days to cover ours, like to do our closing. So like it's still gonna be a little time before they close on this actual segment, but it's being pieced more and more now as to where the racketeering comes in.
Yeah.
Because it's more so the fact of his right hand, which I can't think of her name right now, it's a lady, and how she was actually orchestrating everything with him. And like the witnesses that have taken the stand have been specifically speaking on her name, like, oh yeah, she's the one that's contacting us, like she's the one that's like really like invested in this, like she is the person that Diddy goes to for these things, she communicates all this, she orchestrates most of this. So it's more so like showing that there's like precedent for racketeering, and it's really coming together. There was a couple of other people besides the Jane, his ex-girlfriend, that came to the stand, but it really much boils down to people that don't think that Diddy is going to jail or is in trouble, or this is just to like parade the next black man of stature and break him down. Like, no, this man is criminal. Like he is one of the worst type of criminals because he had the money to pay these people off. Like the man, one of the people that took the stands was the security officer, the security person at the hotel who Diddy paid $100,000 to for the tape of Cassie, and it ended up getting out anyways.
Yeah.
So these are the people that's taking a stand, and even he said, "Oh, well, Miss Right Hand Lady was right there the whole time talking. She was talking to me." So like,
it's also kind of like you said, like this is just part yeah, it's like part one. Like it's going to be many different trials of different things. Like I think once this is done, though, and the FBI is go into their trial. Yeah, and then that's what I'm waiting to say. I'm waiting to see that criminal celebrity list. That's what
I was just getting ready to say that. I think that's really
where it's going.
That's what everybody's waiting on. Everybody's waiting on.
They just have to prove
list.
the racketeering in order to get to the next step.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is to open the case up.
There's
Like this is just like the cover page.
There's some people
honestly.
out there that are nervous. Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Honey, they're gonna turn this into a movie, is what I'm telling y'all.
No, yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Oh yeah.
But
Who do you think they'll get to play Diddy?
Michael B. Jordan. I don't know. I don't know.
Would you want that role
Diddy's
though?
son.
I mean, like
His son that looks just like him, I guess.
That's crazy.
He would be devastated,
I
but
don't
they'd make a
know.
lot of money.
I don't know who played him in the Biggie movie. Notorious.
Oh,
I don't know. It would be funny if one of his friends that really back then that stopped fucking with him turned up for the role.
Right.
Like
I'll
Mace.
take that. Yeah.
I'll play it. I'll make money off that. He make me lose out. You know, like you never know. But so it's set to the closing arguments, or the close is supposed to start on Wednesday, and there's so much, but this is literally just the front cover of the book that
Yeah.
is about to start the journey of the
Right.
rest of his downfall.
Do you all think he'll get pardoned?
No.
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 No. Not at all.
Yeah. I couldn't see that. I mean, I can see
You
him.
do?
Think about it.
Pardoned by who? Donald Trump?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
The only reason I would say he would do it is try to be like, oh, see, I'm for the people. You know what I mean?
No.
Like,
No. He wants to stay as far away from the allegations of him being in those Epstein files.
Yeah, and that's why
If
he
was
threatened Elon when Elon made
Yeah.
that tweet about him being in the Epstein
Epstein
files.
files,
He
he's-
was like, oh, I can do a lot of things to you.
Yeah, so I don't think that he wants to even touch that with a 10-foot pole.
We'll see.
We will. We will. But I don't think that... You want to put a bet on it?
No.
Look, my head goes to money. You want to put a bet on it? Nah. But yeah, so that's a little update, a little run it back on the Diddy trial. And the next little part is just a little filler. It's not anything like a lot of people really are too concerned about, but I am, and it
Right.
rubbed me the wrong way, even though I loved it.
Do
I wish-
tell.
So, this past week, Beyoncé,
Hey.
Right.
Cowboy Carter Act 2
Yeah.
was in Paris, and each show since she's been over there has been like elevated to the highest level. I'm not saying that I didn't get a great show, because the show was amazing. I wouldn't change it for the world, but at the same time, like, those ain't your people, bitch. B, them is not your motherfucking people.
not
No, I
your
mean, they
people.
are, but they aren't. Like, we all are everybody's people, but she didn't turn up the way she's turning up over there. Like, Miley Cyrus showed up in her Paris show, and they ate up one of the most iconic songs I feel is on that album, and I would have just loved to have been a fly in Miley's hair at that concert, because it looked magical. Like, you could tell that Miley was so like overjoyed and starstruck when she was on stage with Beyonce, and I don't think that they actually recorded the song in the same space, because the way that the chemistry was on the stage, I could see that it was a new feel for the both of them,
Right.
and it was iconic. It was an iconic moment. You got a literal country artist and somebody just dabbling into country music, really, and she's not really, she's country, but that's not her genre, Beyonce.
Yeah.
Per se, as far as if you're looking at the type of music that she typically makes.
Yeah.
But where she had Miley and her on that stage, Miley looked gorgeous in her gold ensemble, Beyonce too, but the energy that they were feeding to each other was, you could tell it was pure love, and it was just so like fun to watch. I just wish I was there, B. Why didn't you do
So
it?
you caught a clip of this?
Yes, it was a clip of it all over social media from every angle, and I think I watched every angle possible because I wanted to see what had went home. So, and not just like the fact that the Miley was there, but like the looks that are happening overseas are so much better. Like I feel like I got the starter looks. Like, I mean, we did because it was the start of the tour, but like
Yeah, so
over
now
there,
Now you feel slighted because
yeah.
you feel like you missed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying to watch it. I can't wait for the movie because I know there's going to be a movie, because that's what she does now. Instead of releasing like videos, she releases a full movie of the experience.
Well, is it like a certain thing of like she's doing it over there because she couldn't do it over here?
No, she could very well do all the things that she's doing.
Okay.
in her
I didn't know,
concert.
like,
Yeah.
I would
'Cause, you
think
know,
some
like-
things would be subject to availability.
Yeah, like or maybe
These
like
are looks.
Oh, you're talking about looks?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like features.
The only person that's been, well, yeah, because the Les twins were at the one in England.
Yeah, totally. But not everybody.
They're
can buy
from
it at the same
Paris.
time.
was it England or was
They
it the Paris
started.
one?
They started off in the UK, in London.
Well, no,
Right.
I'm saying was they at
they
the
met her in London.
Okay, yeah.
They met her in London and have been on the tour with her since. We would have loved to see the Les twins.
Yeah.
They're your first twins, and they ate it up.
Yeah.
And Miley did too. So like, we would have loved to have gotten a Post Malone at the concert, or I mean, Tyler Perry showed up, and that's a whole nother controversy. That's right after this, actually. I think this episode's gonna be a little longer because we gotta dive into that. That just popped up in my head, and I gotta let y'all know the tea.
Okay.
Because baby, have y'all heard it?
No.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh my God, y'all are gonna gag. And I already knew it, but we gonna dive into that right after this. But back to Beyonce. Tyler Perry was at her concert, but he wasn't on stage, which I wouldn't think that he would be. I would be like super weirded out if he was. But he was the only celebrity that we seen that like came to the concert, and he was in the stands just like everybody else.
Okay.
He did like get his praise or whatever. They kind of like, and he was like doing little weird ass dances or whatever. But it wasn't really like that moment on stage where you got a celebrity that's singing with their feature. Like that would have been so dope. Like that Beyonce Nicki Minaj moment at the Grammys when everybody was like, "Oh my God, Nicki's here."
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just felt like she should have amped up the United States dates. And if she was gonna dull down a little bit, I feel like it should have been when she got over there, and then when she came back over here, she should have amped it up even harder.
Yeah.
Just because like this is your home, like American Requiem, like this is your note to American country music, you know what I'm saying? So like why not give it your best over here as opposed to over there? But I know that you want to give them a show too, but give us a little something. But she still has to come back over here and finish out her tour, so maybe it's just building up to the biggest thing. So maybe when she comes back, so maybe I should have got my tickets like
because you can't go hard in the first few shows because it's hard to amp up from there.
I know, but you go up in the beginning, and then once you get comfortable, you can kind of like give them like more of a, like, you know what I'm saying, a more somber version of it, and then towards the end of it you amp it back up. Don't start it off dull, then build up, and then dull down. Like we don't want you to come back and dull back down. Right. You've already we've seen what you're giving them over there.
That's that part.
Or you should have started over there and then came over here and gave us what you're giving them.
That part.
But here nor there, it was an amazing show. She's still Queen Bee. I still love her down. I don't regret going to the concert. I'm living for the pictures and stuff. I just would have liked to seen more of what she's giving them over here. Especially at the concert that I was at, who wouldn't want to see those things at the concert? But yeah, like she's still going strong. She's still like topping the numbers as far as concert ticket sales and even merch sales right now. It all accumulated is like hitting records. So kudos to her. Claps up for B. Yeah, killing it. Period. But let's side table that conversation because y'all ran it through my brain about this Tyler Perry situation.
Run it back.
So there's this guy on social media that is dropping walnuts upon walnuts upon walnuts of video, like text messages, pictures of these conversations with him and Tyler Perry.
Right.
He worked with Tyler Perry, or was working with Tyler Perry, and he's filing a lawsuit on Tyler Perry for like touching him and like trying to persuade him, or trying to like workplace sexual harassment.
Yeah, he was trying to seduce bro.
Yeah, like he was doing all that, and there's no denying it. Like this is very clear. Like he's like in these messages, he's kind of saying like things, and I'm not reading anything, and it's not verbatim, but things like, yeah, so I'm gonna help you, but you can't tell anybody I'm helping you because they'll see you differently than if you tell them that I'm helping you. Or like, I'm drunk as F, and you should come over. Like I know this is an explicit show, but I don't know if like people letting their kids listen, and I don't want to get too far into detail with what was said because I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble with the network.
Last week my video got restricted. I don't know how restricted it is, but it's very sexually explicit things, exchanged both ways. Apparently the boy is straight, and Tyler Perry's trying to persuade him to, like, he's straight and a Christian, and he believes in his Christian values.
He's the forbidden fruit for Tyler Perry.
even if he has feelings for the same sex, he doesn't act on them. So it's a lot of Tyler Perry trying to like
trying to be that sledgehammer.
You can still do these things and be religious and feel those beliefs.
You try to be the snake in the garden.
Come on,
he is trying to be the snake in the garden. Yes. There's a lot that's going on.
Snake in the garden.
With that, it's crazy.
Yeah, we got one for that one.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
you got to do that.
Yeah, so it's crazy, and the reason I said like I knew it was I knew he was gay. He did Medea too well. He knew too much about how a woman acts, how a woman feels, how a woman, because like as a gay man, I'm that 50-50. I have that femininity and I have that masculinity. And I was raised and stayed around women. So I have that. Like he says that he stayed, but like you can tell that like, oh,
well, yeah, he's got that.
You could tell somebody. Yeah,
this man is that he's
that was always the talk anyway, you know.
Yeah.
And
he tried to play it off though.
Yeah, didn't he get married or something? Doesn't he have a child or something?
I have no idea about that. But
like you can tell the person, like a person being raised by women versus a person that was raised by women, that he can put himself in the shoes.
Yeah,
you know.
But when this story came out, it just took me back to when another person that worked with Tyler Perry made accusations that somebody tried to make sexual advances towards him, but he didn't specify who it was. He just was like, this is a really known person. A lot of people would know who it is. I don't want to speak on their name, but this is what happened to me. And he never dropped names. This person's dropping names. He's dropping receipts.
They come out for blood.
Receipts after receipt. It's insane right now.
So he was in a relationship, a long-term relationship with a female, but they never married. And in 2020, he said he announced that he was.
But I mean,
single,
we all know how that goes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the way we're talking about. He was hiding it because they was like, yeah, that's a front.
But this person's suing him for like $20-something million.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a son. He has a son.
Wow.
He has a son named Amon, A-M-A-N, Amon Tyler Perry.
Wow.
Born in 2014.
This guy was apparently like working with Tyler Perry. Like Tyler Perry was like supposed to be putting him in places to meet people, teaching, kind of like molding him to be like famous in his own right, but also giving him everything he needed to be that. As long, kind of seemed like as long, from what I read, it kind of seemed like as long as we're doing some things.
Try to put him on a casting couch. Try to put him on that casting couch.
He
pulled a diddler. He's the real diddler.
Yeah,
he's the diddler wannabe.
Yeah, it's very much given that vibe.
He's the diddler.
Yeah, I was baffled by like seeing what was being said. I wasn't baffled that he was gay.
Right.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, girl, we all knew
like,
it.
well,
but
exactly.
Wow, this is how you're carrying yourself, and you're Tyler Perry. Like, you are not a bad-looking guy. You are not broke.
And
you
his
are
messages,
not,
messages in his movies.
Like you are.
Yeah, but
a
either
smart
way,
person.
outside of
like,
the lawsuits and everything right now, it's like cat's out of the bag. You're free now.
Now you can be homosexual.
Kinda.
Now you can be a homosexual. I can say that because I'm a homosexual.
Now
but,
you can do you.
Yeah, but those are the stories that
That's
I have today on pop culture.
Wild.
Like
I knew nothing about that.
Yeah. Ooh, I didn't know that y'all didn't know. So I'm glad I got to bring a story that y'all had nothing to know.
Like you said, confirmation.
Yes, and we definitely gonna run it back on the Tyler Perry story.
Yeah, because I agree. Like it was one of those like you knew something wasn't right, especially like I've had a friend before who was like we knew he was gay.
Yeah,
but he'd be sitting there and he'd be like, oh, she's hot, and we'd be like, we don't believe you,
That's how
believe.
That's exactly how I was.
we know you don't think she's hot.
That's exactly how I was.
You just think her shoes are
yeah, you think what she's wearing is hot.
Yeah. Like until 11th grade, that's exactly how I was. And then when I came out as gay, my friends were like, oh yeah, we already knew.
We was
Like, we could tell you had 2 pop collars in 9th grade. Like, let's be real. 10th grade, let's be real. You had a pink and a blue pop collar, and you had your ears pierced, and your hair was curly with a perm. Homosexual.
That's enough right there.
All right, y'all. Well, with that laugh, this is wrapping up this episode of Pop It's Culture here with my boys from the Running Back crew.
Yo.
And we will catch you next week.
Peace.
Laters.
Peace.
Deuces.